All right, here comes another one for you. Dun, da, 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 da. Bradford White. So here I am in the warehouse. It's kind of a mess down here. Just ignore the mess. So I'm going to keep this one fairly brief. I don't want to go over every single one they make. I'm going to kind of just quickly go through and show you the different models that we typically will stock. You got your 340 S6. That's an electric residential. We got a 340 T6 back there by itself. That's a tall version. RE250 T. That's a tall 50. The RE350 S6. That's a standard height 50. And we're not going to talk about that guy. We don't talk about those anymore. There's another tall that's over here for some reason. Ooh, here we go. RE 380 T6. Now this one's kind of unique because technically, once you get above 50 gallons, you have to go to a heat pump style when it's residential. But this guy right here, he's got a trick up his sleeve. He is actually classified as a light duty commercial. Light duty commercial, okay? It's wired as a 240 single phase, so it's residential, but it's classified as a light duty commercial. So that's how you're able to get around that. The warranty might be different on those. I'm actually not sure. I should probably check that because I know the rest of these 6-year standard tank and then 10-year for the upgrade. And we're going to talk about that too. So on the warranty, I know I'm jumping around a lot, but I'm excited because I like Bradford White a whole lot. They're pretty cool. So on the tanks, that 6-year warranty, that standard warranty, okay. The only thing that's different between 6-year warranty and 10-year warranty is a little sticker. Okay, you spend, I forget how much it is, but you spend a little more money, you get a sticker and you go whoop, and stick it on there. That's all there is to it. Okay, so that's something you can kind of push these with. People will ask about it. Well, what's the warranty like? And you say, well, it's 6-year. Oh, how do I get the 10-year warranty? And you're like, well, you give me more money and you put a sticker on the side. Really? Because on any other brand, like the one over there we're not going to talk about, if you want to get an extended warranty on that thing, you have to change the anode rod. So there are modifications that must be made to the tank. These don't have to be modified. So in a way, and this is a strategy you can use, you're paying for a 6-year tank, but you're actually getting a 10-year tank. You know what I'm saying? So just, something to think about. Okay, so we got some gas heaters over here. So that's RG240T. That is the tall 40-gallon. RG250T. That is the tall 50-gallon. That's pretty standard. Pretty standard. Ooh. The H side loop. That's a 50-gallon side loop. So that's a little different. Okay. Some guys will call that an Apollo style. Basically, you got your in and out on the top, but you also have an in and out on the side. You might see these set up for heating, like not hydronics, I guess what you call that. But it's for you can use a heater as a source of heat. Essentially, that's what that's for. You'll see these come up every now and then. We have been keeping them. Like you can see, we got 4 of them here right now. Every now and then we'll sell one. So just know that is a thing, that we do have them. So if you ever have somebody ask for one, there you go. 150T is a skinny boy. Pretty handy if you got to put one up in an attic. We're stocking those now. I don't think we were keeping those originally, but now we try to keep 2 or 3 of them on hand. Okay, RG240S. A short 40-gallon. Short 40-gallon. Let's see, what else do we have? Okay, so on these guys right here, power vent 50. Gas power vent. Power vent 75s. Direct vent 50. Also, LP. So if it's an LP heater, talking about, gas heaters, they're pretty good about having these stickers on them, but also check your part number. The X is what you're looking for. The N is what you're looking for. N means natural. X, I guess because putting L on it would be confusing because you might think it means low. They just put an X instead. Very important to make sure you get that right, because an LP heater will not work on natural gas, and a natural gas heater will not work on LP. I mean, they might work, but they're not going to work very well, and they're not going to work for very long. Here's another direct vent. Another one of those we're not going to talk about. What is this? RG1 PV50. So that is a skinny power vent because of the one. You'll start noticing a pattern here. That first number kind of indicates the thickness of it, like a 1, 2, and 3. That's how thick the heater is, and then the 50, 40, 75, 80, whatever. That's the size. Then there'll be an T, S, or L for tall, short, low. RG140. Okay, I was hoping we had some of these here. That's a skinny 40 gallon. Very handy to have for, again, put them in attics. Another direct vent, another power vent right there. LP power vent too. I don't know what this one is. What are you? I don't see a label on that one, so we're going to move on. There's another 140T. RG275H. Side loop. I believe that's a side loop. Propane, though, that's kind of odd. I wonder why we have that. There's a 240 propane. 230. 30 gallon. We do keep a few of those. Tiny. Very small. Not a whole lot of capacity, though. But in the right circumstances, it'll work. Another 240. 240S propane. These are all propanes, I think. All right. 50 gallon low boy. RE350S. Oops, excuse me. That S6. That's not a low boy. That's standard height. Don't know why it's over here. It must have run out of room on the other side. Ooh. 250 LN. Okay, so LN. L. Do we have any LN40s? I don't think we do. Nope, we do. LN40. Okay, so the L and the LN, the difference there is one comes with a blanket and one does not. Okay, that's the difference. I believe the L. Don't shoot me if I get this backwards, but I'm pretty sure the LNs means there's no blanket. Pretty sure. Just make sure you check that. I'm kind of doing this off the cuff, just kind of just live streaming almost. But I mean, obviously it's not live. You're watching me through the power of the internet. But oh, now I got to walk all the way around over here. Oh, what are these guys over here? Okay, those are just 240 LNs. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the LN is no blanket and the L is blanket, but I may have that backwards. Anyway, let's walk over here. Ooh, look at that. We got some stables hidden back here too. We'll probably talk about those in another video. Okay, so these are like the small tanks, 6 gallon RE16U6. Some more 16s. I got some 10s, 10 gallons back there, RE110U6. Let's see, there's a little 20 gallon. That's a commercial though. I wonder how we ended up with that. I don't know. Here's a 120 volt 20 gallon. Those are handy. So we got a couple commercial heaters here. EF60T. That is 60 gallon, I think. I think that's how you read that. Tall. What's the BTU rating on this? 125,000 BTU maybe? I'm not sure. I haven't sold many of those, but we do keep that one. We did have, and well, I wish I had it here to show you, but we did have a commercial electric one sitting right here. Ooh, that's a Banduo, I think. That's very nice. This guy right here, the F100. This is a 150,000 BTU version. We have been keeping the 199 as well. This is probably, as far as commercial gas goes, this is going to be your most common one. We've been trying to keep at least one of each in stock. So, again, I'm not going to go into depth and specs and what works and what doesn't work and all that. Nah, it's up to you to learn that on your own. Okay, it's freely available on the website. One thing I do want to talk about is sizing and purchasing commercial heaters for customers. Okay, so it's very important to keep in mind the specs of the heater. Okay, with residential, electric heater is an electric heater. And 240 volt, pretty simple. gas, I mean, it's either going to be natural or propane. The biggest thing is, will it fit? That's pretty much all you're worried about. Will it fit? Will it fit? With commercial, there's more variables. Okay, so first things first, if you're doing a new heater, like for like a new construction, or if it's a heater that's being replaced, you need specs on the existing one or the one they want if you're having to cross. You know, the plans should have that information if it's a new building, or if it's an existing one. Get your contractor to get you a picture of the data plate. Now, it's fine to have your guy read the stuff off the data plate to you, like the make and model and the beach, you know, all the other information, which I'll get into in a second, what you need to know. That's fine, but I personally prefer to have an actual actual picture. That way I can actually read it myself, just to make sure there's no errors in communication, because that stuff has to be right for it to work. Okay, so what do you need to know? You need to know make and model. You need to, and this specific, and this is okay. So we'll talk about electric first. So make and model. You got to know the voltage. You got to know the phase, how many phases it is, and you've got to know the kW rating. 208 volt, 277 volt. They can even be 480 volt. I've seen those before. That's kind of rare though. Usually it's going to be 208. 208 is going to be your most common voltage. And matter of fact, the commercial electric heater that we were stocking, that we sold the other day, it is a 208 volt. That's going to be your most common. And then your kW rating, that's your total kilowatt rating of the heater. Okay, so it'll be anywhere from, I think the lowest I've ever seen is 9,000, and it can go as high as, well, the sky's the limit. I mean, I'm not sure off the top of my head. 24 kW is fairly common, which oddly enough is what we were keeping. 208 volt, 208 volt, 24 kW. That's a good baseline. That's going to be the most common, but it could be anything. Okay, and when you're doing your kW ratings, it's extremely important to get that right, because on these heaters, I'm talking about the CEHD, depending on how many kW it is, that determines how many elements it has. Okay, so 3 elements, 6 elements, or 9 elements. Okay, and your price increases dramatically every time you have to jump up to the next set of elements. Okay, but let's just say the worst happens, you goof, or whatever, or something gets told to you wrong and the wrong thing gets ordered. It's not necessarily the end of the world. Okay, Bradford has got this stuff figured out. Okay, as long as your number of elements is correct, you can buy conversion kits to rewire heaters in the field. Okay, conversion kits. So you can you can change your voltage, you can even change your kW rating, as long as the number of elements you have is within the right range for that particular heater. So, you know, if you say you get a heater with 3 elements and you need a really, really high kW rating, it's not going to work, because you're not going to be able to get the kW out of those 3 elements. Okay. Hopefully you don't have to do that, but you know, it's a thing. That's actually how Bradford keeps their heaters at the Atlanta warehouse. Is what they'll do when you order one and you tell Steven over at Snyder, hey, I need this heater, I want it sent from Atlanta, I need it in 3 days, hurry up, where's my heater, come on, let's go. That's actually a lot of times what they do, is they keep a generic one there, and they just put whatever conversion kit they need to on it and ship it. That's saves them warehouse space, and you know, it makes sense to do it that way. Now on gas, commercial gas, you're pretty much, really the only major thing you need to know is the make and model of the one you're trying to cross with. That way you can kind of get, you know, and you need to know your BTU rating, and that's basically it. As long as you've got a make and model, that way you know what type of heater you need, whether it needs to be like a power direct vent, which this is a power direct vent, in case you were wondering. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about this guy in a second, because they're pretty cool how they work. It could be an indirect vent. It could be an older style B vent. I mean, there's a bunch of different ones. Like I said, I'm not going to go into detail because it's beyond the scope of this. It's just kind of an overview. But that's what you need to know. You need to know your BTU rating. That's very important because your make and model you should be able to figure out your gallon rating based off that. So on this heater, it crosses to a whole bunch of stuff, but it's really important that your contractor knows that it vents from the bottom. Okay, that's your vent right there. That's 3-inch solid core PVC. Some manufacturers, they vent out of the top, or they might vent out of the side near the top. So if your contractor doesn't know that when he bids his job and doesn't know that he may have to redo a bunch of venting, that could be a problem. So make sure you tell him that. This comes with a 90 to turn up for that vent, and it's a really unique 90 because the condensate drain line is actually built into that 90. I'd have to take that top off and take all that apart to get to it to show you what it looks like, but you can just kind of take my word for it. So you got a 90 that sweeps, but on the end of that sweep, there's a little nipple sticking out of it. Okay, and you can actually use CPVC or PVC right off of that nipple. It's designed to where you can use either one. Trying to remember how exactly that's set up. I want to say you got to use a coupling if you're using PVC, and CPVC will glue into it. I haven't put one in myself in the field, and it hasn't really come up as far as people asking questions about it. But I'm pretty sure that's how it works. But it gives you like I said, you can run either type pipe, whatever the code requires. But yeah, I feel like that fairly well covers it. One other thing to note, on the Bradford White website, they have a cross-reference guide. So what you do is cross-reference at bradfordwhite.com or something like that. I forget the exact address, but you can go to the main Bradford White heater website and find it there. So there's a couple of drop-down tabs on the screen. You just tell it what brand it is, you tell it what model it is, and click submit, and it'll pull down a little pull-down screen. It'll show you like basic specs on the one that you're trying to cross it from, and it'll show you the exact one they keep that should cross to it. It's not a bad idea to check those stats yourself and kind of do a sanity check on it, and to also reach out to Snyder, talk to Steven, talk to Floyd, just to maybe pick their brains if you're not sure. But I have found that generally speaking that website is pretty okay. It hasn't done anything too weird yet. Like there's been a few crosses it's done for me, like it's a little off, but okay. And it was either because they didn't make a good enough direct cross, or I don't know. But anyway, Bradford makes a whole bunch of stuff. I've only found one heater that I had to cross to it that they didn't have a direct cross for, and it was a really, really weird oddball old ancient state heater that had, like, I want to say it was a power vent, but the power vent came off the side or something. It was residential. I think it was LP as well. It was a really, really weird system, and Bradford didn't make anything for that. But they do make a lot of stuff. About the only semi-common thing that I don't think they make anymore are tabletop style heaters, but I don't think many people make those anyway, so that's kind of a moot point. They're, in my opinion, tabletop heaters are kind of pointless because you can get a standard heater for a whole lot less. You can build your own cabinet for that price. But yeah, I want to quit rambling now so you can get back to doing what you're doing. Use your resources. Reach out if you have any questions. Hope you learned something.